Hello, everyone.
We are here at Sierra Vista High School, and there's a town hall about education, and I believe Jon Ralston will be in the event. I was just going to ask you a question. Can you do a report on gas prices, how Nevada's being overpaying?
No.
Okay.
The reality of it is not to be a popular idea is that taxes have to increase. I mean, we are at a situation now where property taxes, the way that they're slated to increase, are never going to catch up with the deficit. And it's something that we all do. When taxes were cut. Many of the students that we were teaching, because we were teaching language acquisition, did not speak English. As a non-formally trained ELL teacher, I was a CTE specialist. So my job was to go in and teach construction, teach robotics, but break it down in such a way that the teacher that was an ELL specialist could teach that technology to kids, get them engaged, get them excited about what they were learning, so that they could build language skills.
The parents that are in the school district, if you have a lot of parents that come from less wealthy countries who are low skilled, may even take ELL courses, that's going to have an impact on your performance. So my real question is, speaking of performance, I don't really believe that performance is a measure of how the school and the teachers are doing. I believe it's because students and parents are very obedient. I switched high schools. I went to an Orange County high school, top 5%. My grades plummeted. The teachers were really not helpful. And so I really think that the reason the schools perform very well is because their parents and their students are very obedient, which is something you don't see here. And more importantly, I don't believe that test scores is a true measure of education. I believe the true measure of education is what does the student becomes in the real world.
Inauthentic learning. Most of the learning that happens in schools today is not authentic because it relies on memorization and rote learning. The system defines a generic set of knowledge that all children must know. And then, every few months we measure how much has been retained by administering exams. We know that such learning is not authentic because most of it is gone the day after the exam. Learning can be much deeper and more authentic. It can be so much more than just memorization and retention. But that's the only thing we measure, and test scores are the only thing we value. This has created an extremely unhealthy culture for students, parents, and teachers. Children are going through endless hours of tuitions, staying up all night memorizing useless facts that they will forget very soon.
Just because the student gets a high SAT score, high GPA, does not mean really they're learning, because if they don't retain that information and contribute to the real world, then what's the point?
Yeah. So was there a question there or just a rant?
Well, do you think that we should measure education based on what does the student become in the real world and what they contribute to society? Because I think test scores should not be the primary case. I think it's pretty misleading.
Quick answer here.
So when you look at the Nevada School Performance Framework, 65% of that is growth. That really is a blessing, and it's a great equalizer because it's where you get the student coming through the door, and then where you as a teacher are able to move them. And there has to be some sort of an outcome, whether it be college, career, ACT, to demonstrate success. And I do believe that Nevada has one of the most equalizing systems. It's 65% of our rubric is on growth. That's amazing, especially for the students that sit in schools that are low poverty, and that it can be where they're at and where they're going. 25% of that is proficiency. So if you think of that as a line in which you high jump over and trying to get as many kids as proficient. But for 65% of that to be growth, that's amazing.
Great, thank you.
I'm going to speak from a principal of a school that at times has been extremely violent. You've seen a huge change among most high school principals because in the end, we're the one who makes the final judgment as far as what's going to happen to a kid. We have moved from a time frame where it was zero tolerance You did graffiti on your desk, I'm going to expel you, where now our expulsion numbers are significantly less. So speaking as a former sinner, all right? You know, when I came to El Dorado the very first year, I had 14 guns, 62 knives, major events happening on my campus. I expelled pretty close to 80 kids. Last year I expelled less than 20, this year I'm at 22. There are times when we need to expel kids. We have to message the fact that no means no. It's not okay to haul off and hit your teacher in the face. It's not okay to go to the next door school that I had this year and one of my students beat up a lady in her 70s. That cannot happen. There is no writing a letter of apology to that individual that is going to make that right. Yet at the same time, for example, first-time drug infractions, we now have the harbor where we can send a kid. I had a kid with weed the other day for the first-time offender, sent him to harbor. Next day he's back in my school. We're making sure that they have the help they need. Where before we may have been looking at suspension or expulsion. We have put in behavior programs like myself where I have a strong individual working with kids. Instead of suspending you and sending you home for a vacation, I'm putting you in to work with him where he tries to retrain you and reteach you as far as what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable and why school is important, and it's important to graduate from high school. So we've seen significant numbers go up, and when it comes to graduation rates, we've also seen the number of expulsions go down significantly. But what that looks like is different from every single school because the challenges that we face are different. I'd also like to applaud the district for putting in a program that's called the Lighthouse. I had a student last year that tried to stab me and kill me in my own school. That student is now no longer a part of Clark County School District's regular school systems. He's now in a virtual school. I'm grateful for that because we have some students that do not belong in day-to-day contact with teachers and students. It is the harsh reality. That number is small, but we need alternatives for our kids. So once again, reiterate, we need to look at how we're dealing with our kids. But the second thing is that we need to message out that no means no. You cannot bring a gun to school. You cannot bring a knife to school. You cannot assault our employees. Those things are no. You cannot cause substantial bodily injury to other students. I even look at some of the things that come up at my neighboring schools in the last month. We don't put it out in the media, but I had a neighboring school that took literally a pound of marijuana, for those of you who doesn't know, is the size of a grapefruit. They took 2 single 1-pound packages of marijuana, several pieces of loose leaves, all kinds of, the major issue we have in high schools isn't loose leaf marijuana, but it's the THC vaporizer pens. No smell, no nothing, go in the bathroom, get high, nobody knows other than the glassy eyes, right? We have those major distributors on our campus that we're taking and removing. Now the question is, when should restorative justice kick in, and when do we turn around and say, if you are a major drug trafficker to other students, we need to have consequences. So we need to find a balance between the two, because we need to keep our schools safe, specifically, first and foremost. Yet at the same time, we need to shut down the number of expulsions, suspensions, to keep kids from going into that school-to-prison pipeline that we've had in place in the past.
Nevada statute, okay, in order to get your funding. I think it puts a lot of undue pressure on a lot of our students, and I'm just wondering why people look the other way, because I can see you guys all care about students, just like all educators do and all people in this field. We look the other way on so many different accounts, class sizes and our pay and et cetera, et cetera. Why would we do that? Why would we put those undue pressures, on these kids?
Okay, okay, I saw you nodding your head there, Principal Wilson.
Hi, my name is Dave. I'm a recovering playaholic. Hi. So 21st century diploma is what the school board has asked in the past that we program our students. So that is a mandate we have, that we have to have a specific program of study for all students. So that number of credits that are required for that are greater than what is actually required for a standard diploma. So the 21st century was something, once again, that's been mandated by previous school boards that we operate under for kids because that is the expectation. When they get to me, because once again, when I stepped into Chaparral High School, graduation rate was 32%, we raised that to 80% when I stepped into El Dorado High School, the graduation rate was 64%. We sat at 92% last year. We actually sit down with those students and say, are you truly one of those kids that needs a 21st century diploma, or are you a kid that needs a standard diploma? And then we modify the coursework for them. But that's what I do individually, but to understand that the expectation for the additional credits is an expectation that has come from the school board saying this is what we want your students to achieve.
Thank you for that answer, but I feel that's unacceptable because what you're doing is you're making students who only need half a credit actually take 4 credits for the year in order for them to get the funding for the school. So you're burdening the students in order for the school to get their funding, and that's Nevada students across the board. And so your answer, while I understand you're telling me there's different types of diplomas, is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, the other portion of that too is a mandate from the State Department of Education stating that we cannot give open periods to students unless they meet specific criteria at the same time. So there's several different criteria that we have to operate under as far as whether or not a student who actually only needs 2 classes to graduate and having them come for 2 periods, we can't do that by the time they reach their senior year.
Your money unless they take the 4 classes, but they don't need the 4
We get it.
classes.
I don't want
Okay,
the
I just
principal to
wanted to
have to
make
be
sure that-
subjected to this. We are going to lock him in a room afterwards, and you can go visit him. Get it? Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jana Clayton-Cool. I'm a product of the Clark County School District. I have 2 sons that have gone through the Clark County School District, and I'm also a 27-year teacher with the Clark County School District. So we all know the issues, and I appreciate you bringing up and giving the information to everyone. But again, we're tired of the Band-Aids. We know where this is all coming from the state down. So I just have a question, if you guys have suggestions that what we all can do to actually make a difference in educational funding. I'm tired for 30 years now, plus, that something hasn't been done. So what can we do right now?
Please contact every legislator over and over. Have your friends do it. Have parents, children do it. Everybody should be contacting their legislators and expressing that intense desire to fund schools.
But if nobody's talking about taxes and nobody's talking about where this money, we all know we need more money, but nobody's talking about where that money's going to come from. That's what my question is. I know, I do all those things. I think a lot of
We
people
contact,
do,
but they don't
again,
respond.
We're how many days into the legislative session and they're not talking about money. Nobody's got the solution.
So piggyback on what Jordan said to you, it's also important, so like these form emails are useless. Like any legislator that you talk to will tell you that they don't have enough time to do that. I mean, a meaningful letter that's written. And the bottom line is, I mean, as an educator, you know that there's not a lot that we're going to do to change it. But I believe we've testified together before, yes? Okay? You know the importance of showing up in a room, because as an educator, if you don't show up in a room, whether it's a working session or it's time to testify, it doesn't look like it's important to the legislature. And so to kind of put something out, because I know that there's board members in the room and there's probably also union people, they need to provide us with time as educators, because ironically, most of the time when all this stuff is scheduled, it's in the middle of our workday. So we either need to take a personal day or a sick day in order to go and actually use our teacher voice that we're being told that we need.
I'm really glad that there's so many questions here, but I want to get to all of them. I really do, since we took the time to do this now, I want to get to all of them.